Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're unlocking something absolutely huge. We're breaking down a blueprint designed to put you years ahead financially, honestly, before most people even land their very first full-time job. I want you to picture two different scenarios for a second. On one side, you've got a teenager sitting in a dark room just mindlessly scrolling through social media. But on the other side, a teenager intensely focused, working quietly on a laptop. That one single choice, it changes absolutely everything about their future.
So what if you never had to worry about money at age 25? Like, really think about that for a second. Imagine waking up on your 25th birthday and realizing, wow, I've achieved total financial freedom. Now, look, we aren't talking about getting lucky and winning the lottery here. And we're definitely not talking about inheriting some massive trust fund. We are talking about the direct result of deliberate, super focused action taken early in life. You know, most people think wealth is just this thing you start chasing way later, after you finish college. But that's a massive misconception.
Because you're standing at a major crossroads right now. On one side is the standard, everyday teenage world of instant gratification, right? Gaming for hours, getting totally lost in endless social media feeds. But on the other side, we have the empowered choice. It's the quiet, unseen grind. It's sitting at your desk, the glow of the laptop illuminating your face, and actually putting in the work to build skills that are going to literally buy your future freedom. Okay, so let's dive into this blueprint. We're going to cover the teenage advantage, high-income skills, building income streams, dodging wealth killers, investing and leverage, and finally, playing the long game. This is your step-by-step manual to shift from being just a consumer to becoming a creator.
All right, step one, the ultimate teenage advantage. You might be wondering what that actually is. Well, the absolute biggest advantage in building wealth actually isn't your raw intelligence. It isn't who you know, and it certainly isn't how much money you start out with. Your biggest advantage is simply having time. Think about it. If you start building at age 16, you lock in this massive, almost unfair advantage over someone who waits until their mid-20s to even start thinking about wealth. Imagine a clock just spinning rapidly, calendar pages flying off the wall. While you are growing older, your daily efforts and your investments are compounding over a full decade. Time passing is literally the most powerful engine for your success.
Which brings us right to step two, developing high-income skills. This is where the real grit comes in. You see, the first mistake a lot of young people make is obsessing over the money itself instead of the skills. But here's a golden rule for you. Money always follows value, and value comes directly from the skills you possess.
So take a look at these high-leverage skills. Whether you're coding a new app, editing videos, designing killer graphics, or mastering the latest AI tools, this is where you need to spend 70% of your focus. It's all about those late nights, hands on the keyboard, deeply immersed in the learning process. And honestly, the craziest part, the internet has made learning all of this completely free. Between YouTube tutorials and AI assistance, absolutely everything you need to start is sitting right there at your fingertips.
So the crucial point here is that the true path to freedom is, well, kind of mundane. It's that daily, repetitive process of sitting at your screen and putting in the reps. Just 1 hour every single day. If you do that 1 year from now, you will have totally outpaced almost every other beginner out there. And 3 years from now, you could be generating some really serious income from that exact skill.
Now we move on to step three, building your income streams. Once you've got a valuable skill under your belt, you've got to start earning. And here is a little secret for you. Nobody, and I mean nobody, ever starts out feeling 100% ready. So please, do not wait around for perfection.
Let's see how this actually builds in reality. First, you take that skill you've been grinding away out on your laptop and you offer it online. Maybe you start out doing some Fiverr-style freelancing, editing videos for creators, or setting up a simple online store. You prove your value to a client, and then boom, you secure that very first payment.
And I really want to highlight this number, £1. Your first goal isn't to make £1,000, it's to make just one single pound. Imagine that notification popping up on your phone, payment received. Making your first pound online is a massive, game-changing milestone. It proves you can actually create value and get paid for it in the real world. Once that happens, your mindset completely shifts, and you start focusing on the consistency needed to turn that small trickle into a rushing river.
But as your income starts to grow, you are definitely going to face new challenges. That brings us to step four, avoiding major wealth killers. Listen to this because it's super important. Most people don't fail financially because they can't make money. Nope. They fail because the very second they make it, they waste it.
It's the classic ego-driven trap of lifestyle inflation. It's blowing your hard-earned cash on flashy, expensive sneakers just to impress people who, honestly, don't even care. Contrast that completely with the path of quiet confidence. That's taking your money, saving it, and reinvesting it right back into your skills, your reading, and your own personal growth at that desk.
There's a pretty brutal truth you need to hear about this. Waiting to save is a massive wealth killer. If you don't develop smart, disciplined habits when you're only earning a little bit, you definitely won't magically have them when you're earning a lot. The habits you build at your desk right now are exactly what create true financial freedom tomorrow.
Okay, so once you are earning and saving, we transition to step 5, which is where things get incredibly exciting: investing and building leverage. This is the magical shift from you working super hard for your money to your money working incredibly hard for you.
We call this compound growth. When you invest a little bit every month, your money generates returns. And then, those returns generate even more returns over time. Imagine rising stock charts or seeing a small stack of coins slowly snowballing into larger and larger stacks. It is, quite literally, one of the most powerful forces in the entire financial world.
Now, what's really cool about this equation is you don't need to be some sort of math genius to understand the most important letter in it. It's the T. That T stands for time. This formula mathematically proves that starting at 16 instead of 26 multiplies your money exponentially. Time isn't just a tiny factor, it is your absolute, ultimate secret weapon.
Moving right along, let's talk about a highly active modern asset: building a personal brand. In today's world, attention is incredible leverage. While you're working away on your laptop, learning your skills, and investing, you should totally be documenting that exact journey. Set up a camera, film your process, and share what you're actually learning with the world.
And here's the best part. You absolutely do not need millions of followers to do this. You just need some visibility. Building a personal brand and increasing your influence online leads to incredible things. We're talking business partnerships, high-paying clients, unadvertised job offers, and access to amazing mentors. These are opportunities that money simply cannot buy, and they compound exactly like your investments do.
Finally, step 6. To tie this entire blueprint together, you absolutely must play the long game. Think about it. The average teenager is entirely focused on what's happening this coming weekend, but a highly successful young entrepreneur, they are laser-focused on the next decade.
I highly recommend adopting this single question as your daily filter for absolutely every choice you make. Will this decision help my future self? Seriously, before you buy something, before you decide how to spend your Tuesday evening, run it through this filter. It forces you completely out of that instant gratification trap and aligns you perfectly with long-term wealth.
Think of it like this simple 3-step process. Every single book you read, every hour spent learning a skill on your laptop, every pound invested, these are seeds. You are not going to see the results immediately, but all that focused work you do at your desk today, it will eventually blossom. Those opportunities will grow, and ultimately, you'll harvest a life of real freedom. Not just flashy luxury to show off, but genuine, confident freedom.
So, let's quickly recap this entire blueprint. You learn high-income skills at your laptop, you use them to create that first stream of income, you stay incredibly disciplined and avoid wasting money on ego, you invest those earnings early to let compounding do the heavy lifting for you, you build a personal brand along the way, and you always think long-term. Look, most people will simply never do these things, which is exactly why this process works so incredibly well for those who actually do.
I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought. 10 years from now, you will either look back and deeply wish you had started today, or you will be incredibly grateful that you did. The choice is entirely yours. Close social media, open your laptop, and start building. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.